Hey guys, just out here in the jungle right now. Thought you could come along with me. I'm a little bit sick, so my voice might be a little bit weird. I've been to the doctor the past 2 days. I have like an ear infection and it's kind of messing with my overall health. So hopefully I'm on antibiotics now and hopefully it will clear up soon. So if my voice is a little bit weird, that's probably why. Man, I was just been walking in the jungle here. Oh, the air is so fresh. And I was just thinking about how you literally are so one with everything. And how we as humans, we identify so much with this body, thinking that this is who we really are. So crazy to me how caught up we get in the identification with such false imagery, when truly we are so magnificent. And oh my god, there's no words for it. There's no words for it. True nature. It's crazy world we live in. Look at this beautiful place. Woo! It's kind of mildly raining right now. There's a lot of lightning going on and thunder and stuff. Look at this cool house. I would love to live in one of those houses, man. Look at that. That's so cool. But yeah, I always wanted to just move away from civilization and just like go into the jungle and meditate and... Oh, did you hear that? There was like a big ass thunder right there. Anyways, I always thought about I always wanted to just leave civilization and just go out into the wilderness and just live off grid and meditate and be away from modern civilization. One of the reasons being, when I look at the saints like Jesus, Buddha, you name it, all of those big saints, when I look at Shiva, even Krishna, when I look at the Hindu tradition and all the traditions, what I see, me, Daniel, what I see is, I don't see just a saint. I see, what do I see? I see people who did that. I feel like all the saints that you can think of, they went into what do you call it? I mean, solitude. They went into a purposeful, solitary samadhi, long term. So that's kind of the subject that I want to talk about in this video. Is like the whole notion of, it's kind of that whole notion of like, should you actually go into the forest and just like get rid of your personal identity and just like become a monk and do all that stuff, or should you try and live and be part of normal society and kind of be involved with the everyday tasks of being a human being, and should you like partake in the routine of the modern culture? So basically, should you be part of that, or should you go into solitary meditation? What I think is, what I personally want to do is to go as far as possible into being in the forest and just meditating and being away from normal responsibilities. The reason being, like I mentioned before, when I look at the saints, I see that this is what they did. And when I think about like the only person that I can think about that was actually able to be part of like the matrix, so to speak, and still be in awareness, is probably a guy like Ramana Maharshi, the Indian saint Ramana Maharshi. And that only person that I can think about that actually was able to remain in awareness, though in society, chose not to do it. So that means that the only person that I can think about that would be able to do that didn't even do it. So when I look at the saints, I see that there's a big correlation between the solitary lifestyle that they choose to do, not solitary meaning as in, you know, living without people, but for the majority of the time living without bullshit. And basically living without bullshit, right? And living in a harmonious way where you actually, it's like I talked about in the previous video about cultivating the sort of spiritual environment that is actually conducive to that kind of living, right? So yeah, when I look at those saints and people, I think they choose this lifestyle. You know what I mean? They chose this life, and that was conducive to them being able to do the spiritual growth. And I'm not sure that they would be able to do that like in a not so conducive environment, like in a modern environment. I think that because they chose to go out into the wilderness and sit there and be with it all, that's how they cultivated this awareness. And another thing we can look at is the Buddhist monks in Thailand, for example, or Tibet. So I know from the research that I've done that they live, of course, in monasteries, and they live out there, you know, in the monastery. They're there all day, and they don't go out and partake in like a normal kind of life. They do some charity work, they do all that kind of stuff. So they wouldn't be able to do that if they had like a normal life, because how can you meditate to that extent if you have a normal life? So it's simply, in my eyes, a matter of practicality, time, the measurement of how much time it takes, just stuff like that, practical stuff like time, effort, practicality. You know, you can't really do that kind of intensive meditation and yoga and mindfulness if you are partaking in that. So it's your choice, but at the end of the day, if you look just like statistically at the kind of people that I'm guessing that you also wish to be, right? The kind of examples, and then look at what they did, you will pretty much come to discover the same thing as I've discovered. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's your choice whether or not you want to do it or not. You truly have to feel into your heart and ask yourself, ask yourself what is best for you, because no one can truly no one can tell you what to do. That's my experience. The older I get, I realize more and more how you just cannot tell people what to do, and I can't even tell myself what to do because I do whatever there's that physical or spiritual, emotional compulsion to do, you know. I just kind of like go with my body and what I feel to do impulsively from what God is working through me, that this awareness feels to do. There's no way I can go against that, and there's no way that I should do that either. So to put things into perspective, I surely think that, yeah, can't tell anyone what to do, and it's something that you have to ask yourself and discover what feels the best for you in the moment. Yeah, even saints like Ramakrishna, he devoted his life in the temple of his place in Bengal and became this truly enlightened being. Yeah, all of these big saints, this is how they did it. So following in their footsteps, this is the way that you want to objectively, if you want to objectively look at how they did it and try to mimic that, that's kind of the rational way to do it. And if you want to do it that way, well then that's going to be the thing that you the conclusion that you come to through looking at it. Like what did other people do? What did Gandhi do to become the being that he was? What did Rama, what did Shiva do? And yeah, it's the spiritual life is tricky in that way, because this is a dilemma that a lot of us have on the path, is should I go all in and go live in an ashram, or should I get a job and join the machine and just, you know, put some crystals on the table when I get back home, and it's kind of the tricky thing for a lot of people. It has been tricky for me as well, but I think that there's only so much that we can do, like asking ourselves what is best for us. But like I said, asking what the people who have already achieved that place, asking the gurus, thinking about what did the gurus do, because some of them are dead, so we can't ask them, but thinking about what they did and putting that into your life and thinking, is that something that's possible for me? That is one of the things that you can do, because there's only so much we can do, but that is one of the ways that you can do it. And depending on what answer you find there, is this possible for me to achieve, or is this something that I cannot do? Because depending on your dharma, you might need to be in the world, right? That might be where you need to do the work. But for me, I feel that where I can do the work is by living more cashless, and you know, something that I'm working towards is you know, being in the mountains and being kind of away from it all, and you know, still maybe making videos and, you know, having that. I guess I have to have internet sometimes, right? Which is something that I really didn't want to do. I didn't want to, for a long time I didn't have phone, I didn't have any technology, and I didn't want to be. But I don't know for how long I will keep doing that. Probably not a thing that I'll keep doing, because it's not really in my goal. But again, that's something that we all have to mess around with to figure out which extent we can work with those addictions to social media, addictions to technology with, depending on your dharmic path. How much can you sacrifice that, right? And how much can you work with that, and how much do you feel like that is damaging your spiritual life? And this is pretty vague stuff, and I wish that I can just like tell you what to do. But the thing is, if I tell you what to do and I say you should do the same as me, that might just not sit well with you, because you don't feel like you've done the work maybe and thought about this, and you feel that you've reached your conclusion. And so me telling you what to do is just gonna be like, you're not my dad, you can't tell me what to do, you know. You found something that works for you perhaps, and maybe you're just going through the final echoes and final tornadoes of figuring this out. And so maybe me telling you what to do is just gonna cause further confusion. So I think I'm gonna keep myself pretty neutral, and I can only share what I've done and what works for me. So if you're one of those people who feel called to go all in and to do this kind of a path, and work online, maybe be more detached from the regular life, well then maybe the advice that I'm giving you can really be beneficial, by looking at others who are already there and associating with others who are already there, rather than associating with the people in your own country or your own work area that is already doing the thing that you don't want to be doing. Because this is one of the main keys that I've discovered, is, which many people have discovered, by the way. I'm no special in that way, and I've only learned this recently. You know, this is something that that really took me a long time to get, where other people have been saying this for a long time, but I didn't really get it. And this is just one of the key components. Is, okay, you know, first of all, I don't know everything, right? That's an important one to realize, and humble yourself and say, wow, I should have known that. But associating with the people living the life that you're trying to not do anymore, it's just not gonna work. You have to say, okay, these people who have already achieved states of enlightenment, or these people who are living monastically, or, you know, living off grid, who managed to escape the regular lifestyle, and then you want to imitate that as best as you can in your own way, and you want to say, I'm going to do like they do. So if they wake up at 3:30 in the morning, you start waking up at 3:30 in the morning. If they do yoga 3 times a day. Maybe you should do yoga maybe just 1 time a day, but try to mimic what they are doing, because they are like basically someone who has done what you want to do is a walking proof that first of all it's possible, second of all it worked, right? So they are a walking proof that it worked for them. So that's something that you can learn from and say, that's something that I should be doing. But if someone is even trying to tell you how to work things and do things, but they aren't there, that's just talk, and that's not something that you can use in the past. That's what I've learned only recently. And I've only been able to act on that recently. But yeah, you don't want to be with the kind of people who are just saying you should do a certain way of life, but then it's not working for them. You have to not look at what people say, but what I've learned is that you have to look at how people's lives are, and if it's really good, then they don't even have to say anything, but you would wanna do the same as them, right? But if they have a life that really seems harmonious, especially if it's harmonious with their words of what they're saying, then that's really something that you can learn from, and you can implement those things into the growth of your own life. Yeah, I'm kind of just ranting by now, but I hope I got some kind of the message across. That's my thoughts on it. And I thought I would just make a video right now, even though I was feeling a little bit sick. I felt like making a video anyways, and the audio is probably going to be really messed up. I'm going to get some better setup for this channel soon, but traveling is expensive, and yeah, trying to also build everything for the next couple of years and set things up for my life. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm working on right now. I'm still working on the podcast, getting that stuff set up as well, and the microphone is gonna be problematic as well. So yeah, I'm like, you guys have so much patience with me. That's so cool. This is a big rant, so I think I'm gonna cut this off now. I'm gonna see if I can get the video up for Monday. Yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can post one video for Monday, one for Wednesday, and one for Friday. And maybe one of those kind of unusual uploads that I did recently. I hope you guys like the healing music that I posted. Those tracks really helped me get into my practice, especially while traveling, where it's so sometimes a little bit chaotic and harder to get into the normal rhythm in the schedule. So yeah, I hope that helped you guys. So not much except peace out. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment letting me know what you think, and yeah, all the good vibes, all the good prayers for you and all the people around you. I hope you can tune in, and despite the chaos of life, and get a connection to who you really are. Much love, peace, tranquilo, namaste, peace out.